Hi guys, Jason Bodine here. I don't really like pouring my heart out on social media, so I don't usually make videos like this. But I feel like if I don't voice what's been going on in my head for the last 12 days, I will go crazy. I have been swimming around in a deep, dark sea of depression that I quite frankly and honestly don't think there's any way out of short of a minor miracle happening. And I have been doing everything I can, including making this video, just to keep my head above water so I don't drown in it. If you follow me on Facebook, or you saw the video I posted there, and on Instagram as a reel, and on YouTube as a short 11 days ago, you know that 12 days ago I lost my dear sweet Mama Linda Bodine at the age of only 69 years old. And before I go on, I want to thank each and every single one of you for the outpouring of love and support that I've seen in the comments across all my posts on social media about losing my mama. I honestly do not know where I would be right now mentally and emotionally without you guys, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Having said that, 12 days is obviously not enough for anybody to process their grief. I know I'm going to be missing my mama for a long, long time, grieving her loss and just missing her every day. But at the same time, in that same 12-day period, I found that I'm suddenly been brought face to face with a whole bunch of very adult problems and very adult thoughts that I wasn't prepared to deal with at this stage in my life. And each and every one of them is like a brand new lead weight that's been tied around my ankles, and I don't know how to cut those weights off, or if that's even possible right now. But I feel like if I talk about it, maybe I'll feel a little better. And who knows, maybe somebody watching this will have a solution that you can share with me to these problems, because I sure don't know what to do. Now, the most prevalent problem that's forefront on my mind right now is the financial bind that I and my little brother Nate find ourselves in now that our mom is gone. Mom was a diabetic, and she had a whole lot of health conditions related to that, which meant that she had a whole lot of doctor's appointments that she had to go to, and she needed assistance living at home. Financially, she got a Social Security disability check every month, and Nate and I did what we could to help supplement that by taking on a delivery driver job, because unlike a regular 9-to-5 job, that meant we would be able to work our own schedule around the need to be here for her. And in addition to that, we started our own business, Up All Night LLC, back in 2013 for that same purpose, along with also the purpose of making enough money to live on now and having enough to retire on later, which obviously a delivery driver's pay just can't do. Now, as of 2025, Up All Night just still exists on paper, but it is a legal tax-paying entity that we do pay our taxes on every year. Okay, I will talk about Up All Night more in a minute because it ties into the rest of what I want to talk about. But what's really important right now is, as far as this goes, is that this is financial pickle that Nate and I find ourselves in now that Mom is gone, because now that her SSI benefits are no longer coming in, I'm honestly not sure what we've been doing to supplement it is going to be enough by itself. And with the big long gap in our work histories because of this circumstance, I'm not even sure we'll be able to find a regular 9 to 5 job. And none of this is even to mention that now that Mama's gone, I don't know how I'm going to afford health insurance next year after my current policy lapses. Okay, so now I want to talk about the other things that have been swirling around in my mind over these last 12 days, because while they're not as immediately important as the concern of trying to figure out how Nate and I are going to survive from here on out, they have been weighing on my mind far more heavily and on a far more personal level. You see, along with grieving over my mom and missing her and all that stuff I just finished talking about, two other lines of thought have entered into my brain, and I don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. One is that I have been surrounded by so much death in my family, particularly over the last 7 years, that I have actually found myself counting the passage of time in terms of before so-and-so died and after so-and-so died, instead of the actual number of years. And I really, from this point on forward, for my own mental and emotional well-being, need something positive to count the passage of time by. I mean, just in the last 7 years, since 2018, I've lost both grandmothers, a cousin, an uncle, my dog Zelda, and most recently, my mom, with my cousin and my uncle passing away roughly a month apart, and my dog Zelda and my mother, who both lived here with me, passing away just short of 2 months of each other. And two is the fact that at 50 years old, I am the oldest of 3 siblings in my family. My little sister Casey is 3 years younger than me, and she's married, and she's got 3 kids of her own, and a little grandbaby named Eden that was born just a few months ago. And my little brother Nate, he just turned 39 in April, so he is significantly younger than both of us. So when you put those things together, what you can see is that I'm coming at all of this from the perspective of a dual role that I have been cast into. One is, of course, a grieving son who misses his mom terribly. And two is I am the eldest sibling in the branch of a family that at least of the last 7 years seems to be shrinking faster than it is growing. And that's where Up All Night and something else that you may have heard me talk about either on Facebook or on YouTube in a completely different context than what I'm talking about it here, my desire to hire a surrogate to start my own family come into play. Because since my mother passed away, both of those things have become both simultaneously far more imperative to get done in terms of importance and far less likely to happen in terms of financing them. Now, Up All Night used to be about what I said, starting a business where Nate and I could work our own hours, around being able to be here to help Mom, while at the same time making enough money to live on now and to retire on later. And starting my own family used to be just about wanting to pass on my genes and continue my family name into the next generation while I'm still young enough to raise a child to adulthood. But since my mom passed away, both of those things have evolved into something much, much more. And that's because this perspective that I'm being forced to look at everything from has brought something else to my mind. And that's the fact that eventually, hopefully, far, 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 far into the future, only one of this house's original 3 occupants will be left. And when that time comes, I do not want that person left alone in this house, either with their grief or left alone wondering how they're going to survive on whatever income they happen to be bringing in. See, I know how difficult it is with just 2 people trying to figure out how they're going to survive and grieving over the loss of a loved one in the house. That's what I'm going through now with Nick. And with one person alone, it's going to be that much harder. And I wouldn't wish what I'm going through right now on anybody. Okay? Now, as far as financing it being harder, well, that just boils down to what I was talking about when a few minutes ago when I was talking about the difficulty in finding a regular 9-to-5 job. Both of those things are expensive, and I don't think that any bank is going to lend either Nate or myself a big sum of money either on what a delivery driver makes or because of that big gap in our employment histories, no matter what the cause of it was. And now, before I go on, let me just go ahead and say that I am not asking anybody for any kind of money here. The whole purpose of this video is just to let you know what my state of mind is, what's been going through my head, and how my state of mind got to be this way. That's all. Now, that said, I would not object to my family and friends and anybody else who wants to jump in on the conversation, sitting down with me and Nate to figure out what kind of business we can open up all night to be, since coffee shops have become ubiquitous in town, and how to finance that. And I don't think Nate would object to that either. And I know I certainly wouldn't object to someone sitting down with me to figure out how to finance the surrogacy thing. But that is not what this is about. Like I said, I just wanted to let y'all know what my state of mind was. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to find a solution to all of these problems. But this is my state of mind right now. But I do feel better for talking about it. So I want to thank you all for listening. And I will see you for the next one. Peace.